So I wasn't going to do a video on these steps, but I decided to just because the instructions on it is just straight up garbage. There's nothing to it, and if, quite frankly, you've never put steps on a vehicle before, you probably wouldn't know what to do exactly. And so, this is literally it. Gives you 3 pictures, and that's it. Basically, if you know what you're doing, that's all you need. But even me, I'm not really sure what these plastic pieces are. I can't figure out what it is. It says it's a plastic push nut. I'm assuming it goes on these pieces, but I'm not quite sure, so I don't know if I'm going to even use it or not. If someone knows what it is, you can tell me and I'll put it on later. But I've already put on one bracket. But when you put these on, they're super simple. You just got to get underneath the truck, and you'll find these rubber grommets. You'll find these. You just push these out, and I've already got all mine pulled out. You'll have one at the top here, and then one at the bottom, and that's where the brackets go. One at the top, and then one at the bottom. And you want to make sure everything is loose, just so when you get it on there, you can align it and adjust it real good. Don't tighten it up super tight, but you'll have 3 of them. You'll release it there, and then right down here at the end of the truck. Now there's ones all the way down here. You'll be able to tell which grommets to pull out, just by if you put the steps up, you can kind of tell. But usually they're all the same. But you've got the one down here that you'll want to pull out. It's the one at the very end, and then you come down, it's the one in the very middle right here, and then the one at the very top. Those are the 3 sections you want to pull out. Once you do that, you just get all the brackets on. All right, so there's the brackets, nice and snug on the bed. I like how they set up. And so once you get those on there, all you're gonna do is get the step and line it up. Easiest way to figure out which step is which is on the packaging. It has a P for passenger and a D for driver. For some reason, don't see that. All you gotta do is look at which side is closest to the step. Like this right here, this is a little bit closer than that one over there. The one that is the longer side goes to the back of the cab. The one at the front goes to the front of the truck. One of the things that the instructions doesn't clarify on is what order to put the washer and the lock wash on there. So what you want to do is when you put that on there, don't put the lock wash on first, put the washer on first, closest to the head of the nut, and then put the lock wash on there. And then you want to tighten that up. Again, keep everything loose until you've got the steps on there, and you can make your adjustments once the steps are installed. And then the next thing you'll want to do with the provided T-bolts, you just thread them through these holes, each 3 sections of these holes. And then once you get them in there, obviously, again, washer and then crush washer. I don't think it matters if this bolt goes on the top or bottom. I guess we'll see once I get under the truck to see which one is easier. But I'm going to put it kind of this bolt that's already in there closest to the step. And so we'll see how that goes. So you learn from your mistakes. Without a friend, this is pretty difficult if you put the brackets on first and then try to put the steps on. I think for the passenger side, I'm going to put the brackets onto the steps first and then put it onto the truck. Because what it was is with those T-bolts, it's pretty difficult to hold everything up with your legs and everything. Luckily, I was able to, on this back side, lay down on my back, put my legs up on this front side, and then eventually thread one side, then go down to this other side and thread it. But it was more difficult than what it should have been. But so this next time I'm going to put the brackets onto the steps onto the truck, see if that's easier. I think it will be. But I like how these steps are looking so far. Like I said before, keep everything nice and loose, because once you get it on there, you can adjust it, move it left from right, up to down. And so you make sure when you put it on there, when you do adjust it, just put it as close to the truck as you can. That's as far and as tight as you can make it, all the way across. Make sure it does that. But again, it's very nice. And then also, some of these were loose on mine, and so you want to get an Allen wrench and put those on there, all right? Make sure they're nice and snug. So now the next thing is just to repeat it on the passenger side. Oh yeah, 10 times easier. So what you want to do is put the bracket on the steps on the truck. That was a whole lot easier. I was able to get underneath it once the brackets are on. To get underneath it, hold this side up with my legs, get this side, go over to this side, get it, and then get the middle. And then you just adjust everything accordingly. And so, yep, I think these look great. There's also one more step to do before you're finished. So I didn't get to finish the video the other day. Something came up and I had to go do something. But the last thing you're going to want to do is put these protection plates on there. And it's just 3M stickers. Super easy to do, but it's super nice because I have been driving around and it does seem to fling rocks right into that step. And so that's nice to have. And so that is the final installment, and that's what it looks like. And I have to say, I do love the look of it. Way better than the steps I had even before. I think they did a great job with how the mounting brackets go. It is super tight to the body, and I really like how high and tight it is. And so you do still have high clearance. Obviously with these step downs, you don't have as much as clearance, but it's really nice to have if you've got a, you know, if you're short or you've got a short wife or some kids that climb in. And so I really like the way that these Magnum steps are. I think it really pulls off the truck's look. Hopefully the finish will last a little bit longer than the last steps I had. And I will say these are, I guess you would say, the first generation that these Magnum RTs have, because now they have like one that's a Gen 2. But they're on the steps on the Gen 2, they're a little bit longer, a little bit wider, and I just didn't really like the look of them. These just look better to me. Yes, they are a little bit smaller steps, and it took me a little bit to get used to finding them because I'm so used to having that running board on there. But once I got used to them, I just really like it. I still got one more thing I want to do with these steps, and that is to add lighting to it. I went ahead and got the RT light strips that you can put on each step, but I haven't put it on yet, so it'll be another video probably, just because I'm not sure how I'm wired it up yet. I think I may wire it either into the dome lights or into the cargo bed lights, just so when you open the door or unlock it, they'll come on, but then when you shut it, and they'll go straight off. So I think I've figured out a way to do it, but I'm not quite sure. So I'm gonna do some more research and test some things out before I do a video on that. So stay tuned for that.